Good morning, Kitchen Witches. This is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. My name is Chef Lisa. I am editor-in-chief of A Chef's Grimoire magazine. And we're going to pull one card that's going to be everything we need to know for the day. So, let's get shuffling. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. What card will you bring us today? Let's see what we've got. Beautiful day out today. Whether it's winter, spring, summer, or fall, wherever you are. It's always a beautiful day, no matter what. All right, ready? Here we go. It's the Page of Swords. Yay! Court cards. A little challenging they are, right? Our lovely court card families. But they're there for a reason. Minor arcanas. They are the four families that live inside the minor arcana of the tarot deck. And the tarot is composed of major arcana and minor arcana. When you're first learning, please learn the majors first, then dive into the minors. And learn the minors, dabble with the court cards, but don't really focus on them. You can either focus on them first or focus on them last, because they aren't, most of the cards in the tarot, they mean something, right? And you have to dig deep into each card as to its symbolism, as to its numerology, its astrology sign that correlates with it. But once you learn that card, it pretty much stays intact. Now, that said, depends on the spread that you're using, right? Where they show up and how they answer your questions and what cards are around that card that tell the story of how that card will bring meaning to the question you're asking. Yeah? So, yes. But said and done, the Ace of Pentacles is always going to be the Ace of Pentacles. The Fool is always going to be the Fool, right? But when we talk about court cards, these are personalities, so they change. And yes, we can learn the meaning of the Page of Wands or Swords. We can learn the meaning of the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, but they really mutate, right? They really do. They could mean someone else, or they could mean you, right? All depends. So you have to really learn the other cards first to get a really good handle on what they tell you. And then when the court cards show up, you're not as baffled, right? When I first started learning court cards, I've mentioned this a few times, but I would say, okay, today I'm going to focus on the Page of Swords. So I'm going to go out there into the public, I'm going to do my thing, and I'm just going to watch for people that have that energy. And what is the Page of Sword energy? Well, swords are all about our mental capacity. So our thoughts. And when you see someone who's either very logical, very good with numbers, what else? Just their mind is constantly moving. They come up with ideas on the spot. They come up with solutions on the spot. These are things that go through the cognitive first, then they land into the emotional state, to the pushing it forward to the collective, right? So someone, say, with the Page of Swords energy is not only going to have that logic a little bit, not too much like the King, but a little bit, is going to have that way of problem solving pretty darn fast, right? Come up with solutions on the fly. They are also very childlike. So they have a very bouncy, innocent-esque personality, right? So our pages, 4 live in the deck, right? 1 for each of the elements. This one is swords, then we have pentacles, we have cups, and we have fire, right? which are the 4 elements. So the 4 families that live there, and there's 4 pages, one for each element. Same with the knights, same with the queens, same with the kings. So the family of swords are a very logical bunch. They're excellent problem solvers. They rule with a very methodical presence, right? So this little page will soon be a king, but they need to learn really from life experience before they actually can rule a kingdom with their element. So when they're born, they already have everything they need to, as we all do, to rule the kingdom, but they need to learn from personal experience first, right? So these guys, Lindsay Mack, who is the beautiful owner, developer, amazing person who did Tarot for the Wild Soul, mentions that pages, they face you true north to the element. So they may sway in either direction, they may make mistakes, but said and done, if you really want to get back to an element outside of the Ace of Swords, which really is a gift to you, it's not you enveloping the actual element, right? It's a gift of the element. Or it's not a person in your life that has that particular element. Those would be pages. And they always point you back to something that's logical, something that's methodical, and the perfect solution to the problem. So it could be, maybe we do this to correct it. Maybe we do that to correct it. You know what? The page steps in and it's like, bang, this is what we're going to do. Right? So, I mean, the king could have many options. And then he says, look, this is what I think we should do. This is plan A, plan B, plan C. As a collective, you guys decide what you want to do, and that's what we do. Right? So the king is very generous with their thoughts, right? The queen, she would use it in a more nourishing way, or a nurturing way, I should say. So she would say, okay, you know, we could plant the garden this way, or we could do this or this. And I've thought it all out. And what do you think? You know, they're always bringing in the collaborative perspective on their thoughts, because they want everyone to think for themselves, yes, but also as a community. So their kingdoms are very well thought out. So going back to the page, they're always going to bring you from A, B, C. They'll always point you right 1, 2, 3. They'll always point you right to north, which is the concept that Lindsay Mack from Tarot of the Wild Soul would mention about these pages. And I love that because it's so true, right? Think of a child. Children, you teach them something, and pretty much that's the way it should be. They don't really sway. Or if they do it in their own time, but then if you ask them, they'll say, no, it's this. You know, so they point you back to the direction that it should be, and then you can make it your own from there, right? So pages are quite lovely, right? They really speak to the element. So if you're going to bring this into your life today, you can think of all the options you have for something, right? Because it's all methodical. So say you want to fix a door, right? It doesn't open, it sticks, and you're like, all right, today's the day I'm going to fix it. Well, what can I do? I could take it off its hinges and I could shave it down so that it's a little thinner, and then it will close readily enough because it's already hopefully plumb and square, right? It's just swollen maybe, or I don't know, for whatever reason it was screwed in too tight to the hinges. So that's one way of fixing it, is to shave the edge of the door. Another way is to put little pieces of wood in the hinge, right? Or something like that, or take the pieces of wood out so that the hinges go back into the what's that part called? The up and down part, the joist? I don't know. You guys know if you're into construction. But the up and down part, right, where the hinges go onto the edge of the wall. Maybe there's already little, what are they called? Those things that make it just a little bit wider. You know what I'm talking about. Take those out and put it back against the wall, and then you have that little bit extra so that it'll close properly. You know, the other solution is just to grease everything down with WD-40. So there's options, right? The page, though, would say, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do it right, and this is the one thing that you can do, right? They don't really sway into all these other ways. It's like, this way will work, and this is what you do. So it's great for someone who's indecisive to get the page, right? Because they'll point you in the direction that the suit needs to go. And then you have to also take into consideration that that is a very one-sided way of looking at it. So yes, it might work and it might get things done, but is there other options, right? The page might not give you every option where the king would. That's all I'm saying. So there you go, fix your door today. So if we were to bring the page into the kitchen, what would they cook? Well, swords are air, right? So they love to have everything very light, but since it's a page, we're going to be doing inner child memories, right? Of things that we remember, right? So I'm thinking for breakfast, fruit kebabs with, guess what? Marshmallow fluff. Do you remember marshmallow fluff? It comes, I think they still make it. I think so. It usually comes next to all of the hot chocolate mixes in the grocery aisle, but it's marshmallow goop, right? And it's delicious on fruit. I'm just gonna say that. So there you go. You make yourself a little cool kebab on a sword, which of course is our element today. And then you can have a bowl of marshmallow fluff and dip and eat and dip and eat. Would make it really fun. The page would approve. So for lunch, what about a corn dog with ketchup? I'm a ketchup aficionado. I prefer ketchup over mustard, but hey, go for whatever condiment makes you happy. It's your innermost child, and you're bringing fond memories to, you know, your mind. So whatever you would love to dipping those corn dogs in, maybe it's a melted container of Velveeta, right? And make it a cheese dippy sauce for your corn dog. But corn dogs, yeah. And they also come on a stick. So we're back in that realm of swords, right? Yeah, so there you go. And again, you dip and you eat, and you dip and you eat, and it makes you really happy. And children love things on a stick. Our inner child does. For dinner, chicken fingers with, wait for it, honey mustard. That's it. Very simple. So chicken fingers, they're kind of like, you know, sticks, right? So we're going into not wands, but we're going into the swords, right? Keeping it elongated, I should say. And you're dipping it now into the honey mustard for a nice treat. And if you want to be really good, you can put a little side of steamed broccoli next to it. Or otherwise just eat those chicken fingers with the honey mustard and you're good. So that is the Page of Swords energy for the day. It is our menu inspiration for the day. And the page would want you to nourish yourself. Nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. See you tomorrow.